North Canterbury's Compass FM with Steph. I have Debs Taylor Hayhurst from Success Factor. G'day, Debs. How are you?
G'day, Steph. I'm really good, thank you.
I was just thinking, perfect person to have come in. So you're a business consultant and a coach. So you're a regular at Compass FM, and it's really nice to have you in here. Today we thought we'd focus on cash flow for a new and small business. Kind of a really big topic, isn't it?
It's massive. It's absolutely massive. And it's a big problem and an issue for a lot of small and medium businesses.
How important is good cash flow in a business, Debs?
Well, it's really important because the thing is, if you don't know what your cash flow is and you don't know what's coming in and you don't know what's coming out or going out, then how can you manage that? So it's really important to be able to identify those ins and outs on a regular basis, because what happens if you don't understand what your spending is, where you're spending it and what is going in and out, then how do you know you're always going to have enough? And what you don't want to do is to not be able to pay suppliers or people that you have a really good working relationship with, and then that starts to damage it.
What sort of percentage are we looking here which could cause a business to fail money-wise? What percentage?
Well, nationally, the statistics are that 82% of businesses fail due to cash flow issues, which is massive.
That's a huge percentage, isn't it?
It is. And the thing is that, when you start a new business, whether you've set it up on your own or you're starting from fresh, it feels like there's a load of outgoings and there's not a lot of money coming in, which can be really stressful. And so you have to be able to be very conscious of being able to pace yourself financially. And of course, you've got all the other aspects of how you manage yourself as well. But so you need to be really careful that you've identified right in the onset what it's going to cost, any money you need to put into the business or set aside for specific things. Because if you don't and you just carry on, as normal, then you can find that you're in dire straits.
So, Debs, how can you help us get an understanding of our spending, the wheres and the whys?
Well, the thing is, one, we have to be very mindful of, and again, as early on in the piece as possible, is to look at what typical things am I going to need to spend the money on. So marketing might be one. I mean, you can't sell a secret, so you have to market your business.
Like get your brand name out or your logo or...
That's right.
Stuff, yeah.
So you have to be able to think about, I need to market myself, and we can't turn around and say, well, I don't have money, so I won't. So we need to be able to identify what we might spend the money on, but also look at those measurable results. And so when we identify we'd like to spend X amount of money on marketing here or there, which social platform, and then look at what projected income do I think is going to come in, and then what ready cash do I have, and really to check that you can afford to do that. And so if we pace ourselves and plan, then we can save having those surprises.
So you can sit down with people and help them with that plan, like especially brand new businesses, or not necessarily brand new businesses. As you said here, 82% of businesses fail due to cash flow issues. So there's probably businesses out there right now are going, holy moly, what do I do?
Yeah. And the thing is, you're right. I mean, it can be any business, and even larger business, because businesses can struggle sometimes. But it's around thinking about how you can spread the load. So it's similar to what we would do on a personal level with our own personal expenses.
Okay.
We want to try and, look at, if you're going to buy a house, then you've got to say, well, can I afford the mortgage? What's food going to cost? What's a car going to cost? So we do all that due diligence, and we have to do the same with the business. And so think about how we can spread the load with making those payments. And with a lot of businesses, there's that payment on the 20th of the month, for example. But with some businesses, you may not need to pay on the 20th. So ask the question, can you pay it a bit earlier or later so that you can make sure that you've got that cash available to be able to make those payments?
Yeah, especially because, as you're saying, if you've got, yourself and your own personal finances, you think, oh my gosh, it's the 20th of the month and all these bills are going out and just saying planning and budgeting. That's a really good idea, being able to just say, hey, can I spread it out or change the day?
That's right.
Yeah.
And, the key thing, and I talk about this every time, no matter what the subject is, if we plan and we know what's coming up, then we can adjust accordingly. And that is the key thing. If we just go ahead blindly, blindly, then that's when the problems can arise. And similarly with a new business that wants to expand and grow, and by doing that, then there's going to be a cost. And then we've got this chicken and egg of, well, I want to be able to, so if there's a vehicle involved or an employee that needs to be taken on, then that's cost. But then obviously you expect to get more income generated. So you have to be able to decide when you're going to do what you're going to do and work out what those costs are and what the projected income is. And similarly with marketing, if you're going to spend the money on marketing, you need to be able to look at what's my return on investment? What do I expect to get back from that?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm talking to Debs Taylor Hayhurst from Success Factor. Debs, how do we get hold of you if we'd like someone like yourself? Because you're wonderful and you can go into people's businesses and help them with the whole process. What's the best way to get hold of you?
Well, people can either email on debs@successfactor.co.nz or call me on 021 863 877, and really love to have a chat with anybody that wants just a chat. And I offer a 1-hour complimentary consultation, so I always offer that. So whether it's a chat on the phone or a short chat or as a face-to-face would be fantastic. And that way I can really get a feel for what's going on with the business and see how I might be able to help.
Personalising it and tailor it just to them themselves. Thank you
That's
so
right.
much. Have a lovely weekend. We'll catch you next time. That's Debs from Success Factor.